Welcome back to another episode of American Heroes Outdoors.
Heading out to Wisconsin, to Dairyland, Wisconsin for some fly fishing. Sam and Hannah, American Heroes Outdoors ambassadors, get to host this event with the Dairyland Outdoor Veterans Retreat. It's an awesome episode, great stories, and some very unique fishing.
And we also highlight our next SCHEELS Hometown Hero, Shane Hudella. So stay tuned.
American Heroes Outdoors shares the stories of our nation's true heroes, a documentation of journey, commitment, struggle, and healing. A glimpse into the sacrifice and bravery of our service men and women. This is American Heroes Outdoors.
So being local and doing stuff with veteran groups up here and coordinating veteran programs, fly fishing, kayak trips and that, I had heard about D.O.V.R 10, 11, 12, 13 years ago, but all I heard about them was that they were doing a lot of fundraising. And I would ask people, it's like, well, I hear that group up in Dairyland, they're doing fundraising for something, but what are they doing with all the money? And so I finally, about 5 years ago, I drove up one day coming off the river, and I drove in and there was the duplex and the lodge, and I met Rod and a couple other guys, and I started hearing more and more about what they were doing. And I said, well, I've got a group of vets that I'd like to stay here and do a muskie trip in the fall and rent your cabin. And he said, well, you're a veteran, you can rent it and use this as your base. So it felt comfortable. You know, it felt like the people were right.
Dairyland, 2019, we did our first veterans trip up here to the St. Croix, Scenic Riverway, and I met Jeff Butler. He's a brother. He shared this with me, and coming here the first time, I knew it was something special. Coming here the second, third, multiple times afterwards, I knew that I needed to find that medium to share this with other people so they realize how special this place is, so hopefully they can share it with their loved ones, with their friends, and they can see it, you know, and it continues to build.
So we just got done having dinner and presenting Rod with the SCHEELS Hometown Hero Award. He was joined with his family and community friends. So now we're just going to be hanging out for the rest of the evening and kind of get ready for tomorrow and Thursday, where we're going to be fly fishing local rivers, or we're going to be searching for smallmouth.
American Heroes Outdoors is brought to you by SCHEELS, the Disabled American Veterans, Smoky Hills Outdoor Store, Skeeter Boats and Yamaha Outboards, Woodland Resort, Ottertail Lakes Country, Ice Castle Fish Houses, and S&S Promotional Group.
High sun, shallow, very, very clear water. We'll probably end up having to fish small, and we'll be hunting more than anything. Won't be getting high numbers, but the ones we'll find will hopefully be pretty big. So that's where we're at. Mostly top water, a little bit of small streamers. So that's the plan. Let's see what happens.
So Grandpa was very big into Trout Unlimited, and he was into all the other things. I have no idea of what all goes into these events and stuff, but I know it takes a lot, and he was a big part of that, and I hear from everyone around that he was very passionate about being in these events and donating his time and his money into this stuff. And he was very passionate about it, I know that. But he was supposed to come to this event, however, he just passed away from his terminating cancer that he was fighting for a while from Agent Orange. And so, well, I know my grandpa fought in the Army, and he was in Vietnam. He was very quiet. He never told me much what went down, but I know that he was there, and he made sure to let the guys know that I was going to take his spot if he wasn't around for it. And so here I am today, and I couldn't be more grateful that Grandpa chose me to come on this trip. I know he has a lot of other fellow friends that could have took this place and enjoyed it, but here I am to do that, and I'm very, very thankful and fortunate for that, and blessed. So I'm really thankful for that. But I heard very highly about everyone around him. They'd come to me and they'd say, you know, your grandpa's a pretty hardcore dude, but he just kept kind of quiet. So I know he had something underneath there that, and I don't know if he was hiding anything or what, but he was just so humble. And so I know he was in Vietnam. Let's see. Yeah, that's all I know. He didn't speak much of it at all.
Oh, this is down. Staying down, eh, Andy?
Come up a little bit more. There you go. You got about a foot of fly line off the tip of your rod right now. Use the rod only if you can. If it needs line, go ahead and give it to it. If not, lift its head. Try to bring it to my net. Go vertical with the rod when you can. Get that head up. Bring it to me. 1, 2. Gotcha. Nice.
Thanks, man.
Hello.
Bigger ones fall. Yeah, my name's Bob, and I've been a member of Wild Rivers, chapter Trout Unlimited, and my buddy Jeff asked me if I'd be interested to come on this D.O.V.R retreat, fish the river, and in the drift boat, and I was like, yeah, that's something I always look forward to. I don't have a chance to get in a drift boat very often, so I really enjoy it. I guess it's peace of mind. I love going out on the river. My stress level goes way down. I don't have to catch fish. I just like being in the river, and the serenity and the beauty of the outdoors is really great.
sharing more stories on our social media pages, SCHEELS Hometown Heroes, Sunday Service Spotlight, and more. Help us share more stories of our servicemen and women.
Just being on the drift boat again, you know, fly rod in hand, you know, and another veteran in the boat, you know, just for the healing powers of nature. The special part of being here is just knowing that places like this are available for veterans, and the resources that places like this offer, you know, veterans that are going through, you know, mental health stuff, you know, like myself, you know, just being able to come here, put everything on the back burner and just heal.
I'm a child of 9/11. I was 18 when 9/11 happened. Seeing that, you know, that changed everybody's lives drastically. But it was a few more years before I joined the Coast Guard. I was 21 when I joined, so 2003. Life wasn't going anywhere real quick. Went and talked to a recruiter, opened up a doorway to finally fulfill a lifetime dream of seeing Alaska. You know, it allowed me to continue my outdoor adventure life. Difficult part of it is, one of the most important parts of it as well, is how fragile life is on the water, how much life is there in the water. So experiencing that in Alaska and realizing how small you are compared to the rest of the size of the world, but how much impact one person or the other can make in someone or their own life. Water carries us everywhere. It carries our past memories. It carries our lives now. It carries us where we're going. The most important part is just spiritually being involved in something that means so much to me personally.
Actually, my favorite part was actually bringing my friend Corey, who is an Army medic veteran, and she caught her first ever fish on a fly. She's never been fly fishing before, and she flew up from Texas and caught some fish and fell in love with it.
But I didn't actually think about joining the service until I was in my late 20s. And I had gone to a gun show with some cop friends of mine, and I bought a bumper sticker that said, "Eternal vigilance is the price of freedom." And I had to serve. It was really just straight up duty honor country. Initially, I was a platoon medic for a combat MP unit, went to Germany, immediately deployed to Kosovo, which as a medevac medic was a very tough job. It was a sick, bloody war, which I guess they all are. Came back from Kosovo less than 2 years later, deployed to Iraq, again as a medevac medic. For me, as a medevac medic, it was the sheer brutality of war and what it does to the human body and what it does to the human spirit. Not sure I've ever gotten over it. But the best part of being a medevac medic is knowing that something that you did saved somebody's life or limb, and that you can take that home with you and sort of balance out the really bad stuff. It's such a great experience, connecting with all these vets and accomplishing things I never thought I could accomplish, like, you know, hooking a smallmouth bass with fly fishing. I feel really thankful to be here and joyful. And just the peace of rolling down that river with a guide and another veteran who were open to just having conversations about anything and everything as we went. It was pretty fabulous.
Week was fantastic. The weather was fantastic. Caught lots of smallmouth, and people had fun. People who'd never been fly fishing before, and some who were literal veterans for fly fishing. So it was a great weekend, and lots of people got to connect and have a lot of fun.
You know, after a week or more of just being in the city, daily life, the stress of all that, it builds on you. And then being out here, you know, along with other veterans that you don't have to hide yourself from or whatever. You can just be yourself, relax, and there's something healing just in that.
It's just important to introduce northern Wisconsin to people who've never been here, and to see the water and really feel its healing powers.
Interested in supporting our mission at American Heroes Outdoors? Go to AmericanHeroesOutdoors.com to nominate your very own hero or drop a donation to support our nation's true heroes.
Welcome back to the show.
And now it's time for our next SCHEELS Hometown Hero, Shane Hudella.
Hey guys, this is Austin here with SCHEELS of Eden Prairie. Today we are headed to the Minnesota Armed Forces Hockey Tournament to surprise our next SCHEELS Hometown Hero, Shane Hudella.
Welcome to SCHEELS Hometown Heroes. SCHEELS Hometown Heroes is a way for us to say thanks
to those that serve our country and our community,
and are still giving back to others today.
We honor your service by sharing your stories.
From all of us at SCHEELS, thank you for your service.
American Heroes Outdoors presents to Shane Hudella of the United Heroes League the SCHEELS Hometown Heroes Award for his services to our country and his community.
I met Shane about 12 or 13 years ago when then Defending the Blue Line was just getting started. I could tell he was extremely passionate about military kids and sports. Good impression right off the bat.
You know, he served himself, so you know his family had been through a deployment and going through combat and whatnot, and then he wanted to continue helping out those military families and give back to the military community.
And that's when I met Shane. Shane gave me all my first gear, all my first skates, pads and everything, so I didn't hurt myself, because as a 30-year-old trying to learn to skate, you need as many pads as you can. But that's how I met Shane. But he's a gracious person. He's always wanted to give back to the military people, the families, and it's his avenue, and that's where he's been going ever since he said, I'm done with the military, and retired. He's gone after chasing this just to give back to these families.
So I was born right here in Hastings, Minnesota. Lived here my whole life other than leaving for military duty. In 1988, I was still in high school here and decided to go down and join the Army one day, which was cool. It was cool going home and surprising my dad, who was a former Marine, that, hey, I joined the Army today, by the way. Got a phone call one day on December 4th, 1990, that I needed to report 2 days later to the Cottage Grove Armory to prepare for Operation Desert Storm. So I retired in 2012. I served from 1988 to 2012. It was kind of during that time that I started United Heroes League. It was initially Defending the Blue Line back then. Initially I just wanted to help some local service members with hockey, and got lucky. It took off, and so 2012 I decided just to retire altogether and focus on the foundation.
I would say the thing that really sticks out for me is passion. You can tell day in, day out. He's the first one in the office, usually the last one to leave. He gets fired up about things that he's passionate about, and I would say overall he's a good leader. The military background definitely plays a part in that.
He has vision. Some of the stuff that we're doing down there now, I wouldn't have even thought about 5 years ago, and some of it's already coming to fruition, like the confidence course, the Heroes Wall, and then the plans for the expanded office and warehouse and rink facility that we're going to have down there. he definitely thinks sometimes at 30,000 feet.
I don't know if this is something that he thought it would grow into, but I do know that he still has really big plans for the future of the United Heroes League. He really wants to impact more military families here at this location.
He not only wants to do good things for his community, but for Minnesota and for our country as well.
It's pretty amazing. We've been around 14 years now and helped tens of thousands of families, if not over 100,000 now. $20 million plus in giving. Each day I want to do better. Each day I want us to grow and get bigger, and kind of a type A guy that, hey, we haven't accomplished everything yet, right? There's 5 million military kids out there, and I'd love to be able to help them all.
There's so many people that have benefited from his vision on helping families and kids in sports.
I tell people now it's really not about a hockey stick or a football or a baseball glove. It's about giving kids and families an opportunity to cope, and everybody values different things differently, and for some families that ability to have their kids in the sport and be able to give them that opportunity is something immensely important that turns out to be a huge positive for the whole family.
Oh, that was an awesome episode. Awesome stories, good fishing, great organization doing great things for our nation's heroes. And then next week is, what's going on next week?
Well, you're going back to work. But Wes and I, we're going to Alaska. Next week, folks, we are headed to Alaska, our first trip up, and I couldn't be more excited. We'll go up there with Mandatory Fun Outdoors, and we're going to go actually meet some old friends. I'm going back to spend some time with some soldiers that I served with in my first deployment to Iraq, so I can't wait. So you have fun working. Everybody else, stay tuned because it's going to be a very special episode.